Oh, hi guys. This is a walkthrough or playthrough of the Pyramids battle on the Napoleon game. Sorry, Napoleon Total War. So, we'll start at the beginning, naturally. And in this battle, you've got to overcome the, I think it's the Ottomans. It's a historical battle, well, loosely based around what really happened, I presume. Yeah, I'm doing obviously on expert. Now this battle is pretty easy normally, but on expert, different kettle of fish, I would say. It's starting to get a bit tricky. However, as you can see from the tactics I will be using, I'm hopefully will come out this scrape all right. Come out smelling of roses, so to speak. So yeah. So it looks like, you know, the key thing in this battle is the right flank, where you have two groups of line infantry and one horse regiment. Yeah, so pretty early on you're going to get attacked here, as you can see. What you got to do is use, as it actually says at the start of the battle, use your square formation. So when you get charged, quickly hit the square formation button so that you don't lose as many men. And I was thinking about maybe moving these guys back into my main line, but there isn't really enough time. You know, the Turks charge them pretty quickly, so you've just got to go and kind of use them as attritional against the Turkish Ottomans. Yeah, this, as you can see on the left hand side here, I was trying to take out some of their cannons early on. Didn't go very well. Yeah, I kind of got smashed. So yeah, that was one thing that went wrong in this battle. Don't do that. It's probably best to just wait for that cannon on the left hand side there. You can always take that out later on, because you actually have a lot more artillery on your side in this battle. Anyway, so I'm just going to slow this video down again in a sec. So yeah, as you can see at the start of the battle, I've been charged on that right hand side, but I have got the higher ground. Gives me a bit of an advantage there, and I'm using my square formations to keep those guys in the game for as long as possible. They are really, unfortunately, going to be sacrificed, likely, because they can't take on the might of the full Ottoman forces on their own. But if they can hold them up and cause them some difficulty, then that's what we want. Yeah, as you can see, I probably need to move it back into a line formation there. In fact, I think the rear squadron, I had a little bit of time, a bit of a window there, as the other side were getting beaten up by the Turks. So I moved them back quickly, so they can be used again. The others were routed, but to be fair, they did a pretty good job taking down some of those cavalry there. And I was just charging in my cavalry there. Took them a bit by surprise, some of the Ottoman units there. So yeah, that everything kind of went pretty well on the right hand side there. On the left, I did charge those cannons kind of head on, which was kind of foolish, but it's probably not going to impact me overall too badly. Yeah, so my main kind of tactic on this level was to kind of move all the units into a kind of more manageable shape. As you can see, it's kind of like a horseshoe shape, where I'm kind of defending the top of the hill where Napoleon is. I mean, I use this kind of formation because it's just easy to manage. I don't want my men spread out too far. The more they're spread out, the harder it is to, I find, to manage them all. So yeah, and as the Turks attack, I have all my men kind of positioned here in that kind of horseshoe shape, with the hill as the the top of the hill being the centre point where my general was sitting. So I'm kind of just going in to get some action shots here, but as you can see when I'm zooming out, you can see the kind of shape that I've got there. Now, yeah, as I said, that isn't anywhere near as wide as when the battle starts, but I moved them in like that because it's easier. You have to manage your cannons well on this game as well, on this level. Let's just take some more Ottoman units by surprise there. And you have to manage because you get a lot of artillery in this level, and it's a good idea to try and keep as much of it firing as possible. Use all the extra barrages you get. You get three per 9 or 6 pound gun. You make sure you press them and use them. I was careful to move my artillery, and so I would have it in between my line infantry, so it was fairly well shielded. Sorry, I'm having a slight freeze here. This should just correct itself in a sec. This isn't an easy level on expert really, but this kind of tactic of managing my artillery carefully and moving my men into a smaller, manageable cluster, I found was the key. As you can see now, they're lining up against me, but the Turks have lost so many men already from my artillery and my cavalry, which again, another key feature, just moving them in, flanking and picking the moment where they're weakest. Don't charge any units that are particularly good against cavalry. Charge the ones that are weak against it. And always when they charge you with their cavalry, because they have quite a lot of cavalry, always have your finger on that button, ready to go into grid formation. As you can see here, my cavalry went directly into theirs. I saw some of the Ottoman cavalry picking on my ground units. I thought, I'm not having that, so I got a few of my horse units and horse against horse there. And as my my line infantry is getting eaten away at here by the relentless large Turkish army, or at least it was to begin with. I'm just moving them in tighter and tighter. Although there are less of them, they become easier to manage. A couple of my cavalry that had not been completely finished, and I thought it's time to take out those Turkish cannon. So I'd actually tried to do this at the start, but came up against quite a few, couple of foot units on that side, and directly into cannon range, which wasn't particularly bright, but as I said, it's best just to leave those cannon maybe to begin with, because you have a lot more cannon units on your side, a lot more of an impact as long as you keep them live. So I guess the putting my cannons into play early on and having them just fire relentlessly with the cannon perk, 3 per cannon, 3 per unit. It's just really screwed that Turkish attack, where they've had a lot of distance to cover.
Our general is under attack.
And I'll just fast forward various pieces of this battle. I mean, yeah, this is expert enemy, and if you get it wrong, it's difficult. But I guess I've got it so right that they're really struggling. They're just not as sharp as a human opponent. As you can see, they make some quite strange errors, such as moving their men towards yours and then suddenly changing their minds, which is just going to get them absolutely hammered with musket shells. If you make a decision, you have to stick with it in this kind of warfare. And now obviously then superior numbers on my side, but they've got a few good rifle units there. I think there's one or two elite Ottoman gun units maybe still pounding my lines. Yeah, oh blimey, I just about hit the square formation in time there. See a nice close-in view of them all collectively firing their muskets there.
Our men are running.
Such a beautifully modelled game, this. And this was my little comedy attack here. Charge of the Shite Brigade, as I called it. It's what remained of one of my 6 or 9 pound gun units. So they went in with their rapiers or swords for a little cameo there. And yeah, I mean, also I kept my general pretty well positioned so he didn't get killed. Another thing quite important, because all my units have got good morale, even those smaller ones are still pretty game because the general's alive and close by. See some nice shots now of them all firing the muskets at once. Just fast forwarding a bit now because tactically we've kind of already won the battle. It's just about mopping up what's left of the Ottoman forces. Yeah, so it's just the end of this battle now, and I'll be fast forwarding it. And at the end I'm just going to go onto the map view just to prove I've completed it on expert, and this was the expert mode. Although, as I've said, you could be fooled because the AI makes some pretty shocking decisions at times.